Rick, we were talking earlier about stuff.
True story about a little Australian freed the Scottish.
The stuff that's dying out that I think you and I single-handedly need to kind of resurrect and salvage. I thought the trilby was dying out.
Yeah.
I'll surprise you, and yet,
well,
watching Top of the Pops last night,
Yeah.
Jamiroquai was wearing one, and then lo and behold, Danny Minogue came on, she had one as well. I thought, blimey, there's two people there trying to salvage the trilby, and good luck to them.
Well,
Yeah.
that's on its way then. Let them
The
do
trilby's
that.
fine.
Let's do something else.
But the bowler hat,
the bowler hat.
You never see the
I always
bowler.
fancy myself in a bowler
I love
hat.
a bowler hat. Carl, would you wear a bowler hat? I know you'd wear the cape.
I did wear a trilby.
You wear a trilby, really? You must have looked like a...
That's brilliant. What, because you're a Mancunian?
Well, there was a phase, wasn't there, in about 90... When was it?
I think that was just round your way.
It might have been. It was in Manchester.
Did someone get a
I
job
know it
lot of
was.
trilbies? And persuades you kids? Yeah, I'll tell you what's trendy. No, Sean Ryder wears one of these. Does he? Yeah, go on. Yeah, quid. And then everyone in your street had trilbies on.
But you've never worn a bowler?
Never.
What about Kangol bowler? You might
He
think
had one
about
out again.
I'll tell you what. I would like to wear a bowler hat and a dark, but I'm worried I look like one of those little fellas off the Home Pride advert.
it. The Home Pride guys, they've been persevering with the bowler for years.
They still look good in it though,
They're
don't
still
they?
looking good. They're dapper guys.
Yeah.
You see, we didn't really celebrate birthdays in our house, so...
Where are you from? What planet are you? What do you mean you don't celebrate birthdays?
Are you here from another world observing? Like, trying to blend in, but not quite managing to pull it off?
Not that fussed about it.
Right.
You know what I mean, it's...
Yeah.
My mum and dad's are on the same day, and I think that just was like...
That's a bit weird, isn't it?
And their anniversary, and...
Well, they got married on their mutual birthday.
But Carl, can I just... I mean,
and Christmas.
But Carl, there's a difference between you saying...
What do you mean their anniversary's on the same day? Of course it's on the same day.
Yeah, and the birthdays.
But, Carl, what I mean is that... you say that you don't really celebrate your birthday, but presumably you have received some presents at some point in your life from your parents. Or anyone.
Yeah,
Okay, well, we'll come back to you later.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Let's play a record.
Carl, have a think about that and we'll come back to you later. Thanks very much.
Ash and Sometimes, they've won me over.
They have indeed, yeah.
They've just got they've got to be the band they always wanted to be, I
I'd
think.
have written them off in the early days, but no.
Me too, Steve. Just goes to show. Go on.
Carl, any thoughts on what gift you've perhaps once received that you can joke about now, but was tragic at the time? No?
no.
Not really
like
put
I
the
say,
thought in then?
Didn't have that many presents, so...
Always thankful for
the
what
ones
you
I did get,
got.
I was grateful for.
Yeah.
Rick, would you love to hear from the listeners if maybe they've received some amusing gifts?
No.
No, I wouldn't.
Good. I went on holiday after Christmas,
Yeah.
and so did our mutual friend Phil Bowker.
Yeah, good man.
He was in Lanzarote and he told me one of the funny. I don't know if I can tell this on the radio. I'll have to say the C word. I'll just go. It's in a sentence, so I just go you see when it comes, and you'll know that he's saying the terrible word. Just didn't want to ruin the anecdote. Anyway, they're walking along one evening in Lanzarote, and there's lots of Brits there apparently, and Phil overhears a sort of married couple arguing. They're having to go home a bit early, and she's saying to him, she went, "For Christ's sake, every time we come out drinking, you always shit yourself." Right?
Wow.
Always, not once. So he's going, I've told you, he said, it's not the drink, it's the weather. She went, the weather. You'll be blaming the food next, you see. I don't think they should have got married.
Wow.
Or when did you think the shitting themselves started? Must have been after the marriage, because if you're courting, and they go, went out with Derek again, did you last night? Yeah, how was it? The evening was lovely, the meal was nice, but he shot himself. Again. That's 5 dates, 5 different heaps of shit.
But I think I can change him.
I think it changed him, yeah. It must have happened after the marrying. Or he just might have think, oh god, or he's got to that age where I think, look, I'll just empty it when I get home.
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep going up and going to the toilet, you know.
It's the ice that does it.
Yeah, Carl is right, I think. It is the ice.
What do you mean?
People forget, they say, oh, don't drink the water when you're on holiday, and they don't. They drink, they buy Evian and stuff.
Oh, I see.
They forget about the ice.
The ice cubes, you're right, in a bar. Made from tap water.
And that can do it, can it?
Yeah.
But what she said every time you're drinking, didn't she?
I assume that she wasn't drinking ice then.
Yeah.
I mean, why is it just happened to him?
Let's be honest, everyone that goes on holiday doesn't end up crapping themselves.
Yeah, they usually make it to a toilet.
He does it every time he drinks, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, apparently.
Just don't let him carry the baguettes.
Oh, he's good, isn't he?
Oh, Karl comes out with
He does now and again,
High
doesn't
five,
he?
Karl. That was sweet, man.
Yeah, nice one.
I didn't mean
We've
to
lost
say
it again, haven't we? You didn't mean to say Salem.
Salem.
This is such bad
That was
radio.
just
This
the
is
word that was in
really.
the tip of my
I mean,
tongue.
genuinely, this is bad radio,
awful
isn't it?
radio.
Quick. Oh yeah, my mate went to one of those things in the West End where you walk around and it's aliens and they jump out at you.
Right.
Right. And he was so scared when the alien jumped out. I mean, he ripped a bit of his face off. And
What, the
bloke-
alien's face off?
Yeah, it was foam, and the bloke went, "Don't do that, mate."
Brilliant. Well, in the Salem one, I was wandering around, and this was one guy that kept jumping out.
Yeah.
Because there was about 10 of us, I was at the back. I always missed him jumping out.
Can I tell you one of the best presents I ever had?
Go on.
But without doubt, all I ever wanted was a go-kart. This is true. I was like,
Right.
you know, sort of 5, 6, 7, and I eventually, for Christmas, I wasn't sort of spoiled in the sense that I got pocket money, but I always got what I wanted at Christmas eventually,
right.
because working class mothers they'd get it out the catalogue and pay for it for the rest of the year. So I always got. I had, really, as many presents as anyone else. And I got this go-kart. It was a little red go-kart, and it was a pedal one. And I'd run home from school, and I'd be in it, and I'd get up and down the garden for hours. I'd have to come in from a tea, and this was fantastic. And this went on for like weeks and weeks and weeks through the summer. The next summer, it was just it was fantastic go-kart. I'd show off. And then one day I came home, and I went. It was always at the back of the shed, sort of up against the shed. And I went in, I couldn't see it, and so I went to the back door. My mum was sort of like washing up with that, and I went, "Where's my go-kart?" I thought it hasn't been nicked. She went, "Your dad swapped it."
Your dad swapped it?
Yeah. I went, "He what?" And I was going to be brave, and I went, "He what?" She went, "He swapped it for a wheelbarrow." And I could see she didn't approve of this, and she was thinking, "I'm going to tell him, and then I'm going to, have this out." And I went, "Right." She went, "It's your wheelbarrow." And I went to the back of the shed, and there was this wheelbarrow. He swapped it with a bloke called Jimmy Dublin, who he worked with.
Jimmy Dublin?
Yeah, I don't know.
I bet he was a respectable member of the community.
He was fine. It was his libel. No, I think he was an Irish gentleman, and that's why they called him. That's why I don't know what his real name was. And I think my dad must have been drunk, and he went, "I want to get my son a go-kart." And my dad, my kid's got one. He's probably had it for a year. He's probably bored with it.
Yeah.
And he said, "I'll give you this wheelbarrow." And I went to this wheelbarrow, and it was caked in concrete. I could hardly lift it. I just nicked off a building site, obviously. And I'd be there for hours trying to push this wheelbarrow up and down the garden, right? And it was okay though, because I was going on holiday soon, and I 7 years running went to Bognor Regis, a place called Riverside, because some woman around the way had a caravan that we got free for a week, and it was great, just wonderful. And I used to go there with my mum and my nan.
Oh, party time.
Yeah, the age of 7 to sort of no, it was good because when you're a kid and you wake up in a strange place, it sort of seems weird. You wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning hearing your gran pissing in an iron bucket, and
We've all been there.
You get disorientated. Anyway, and I went on holiday, and I met a little friend who was about my age. We were both sort of like, right, and he'd hired a go-kart. He had this great go-kart, and he came down to my caravan, and I went, "I've got a go-kart." And I remember my mum opening the window of the caravan and going, "Don't lie."
That's so evil.
And I went, I had a go-kart. I had a go-kart.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you ever talk to your father about the fact he swapped it?
No.
You never mentioned it to him?
No.
You still got that wheelbarrow?
I think so. I've grown into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can nearly lift it now. Yeah. And now I'm just too old to run up and down the garden with
now
it.
you get one of your several gardeners to use it all the time. Wow.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, Karl,
Yeah.
best things ever happened to you? Best event, best day in your life?
I mean, there's loads of things that happen. Like,
Yeah.
no, but do you know what I mean? You can go for obvious stuff like, meeting Suzanne, sticking with her and having a nice holiday.
take that as read.
Yeah.
You've got that on your desire, and that's already done.
Well,
And the day you got your qualifications through.
Yeah, the history.
probably, I mean, when you asked me then, the first thing that came into my mind, right, that was a real surprise, right, because it's like, you get surprises on your birthday and that, don't you? But they're not really surprises, because you're hassling your mum and dad for stuff, and then they might buy it you. So it's not really a real surprise, is it? Do you know what I mean? So I'd say something that was really like, oh yeah, nice one, I've got something here, is the time when my dad said, empty the bin, will you? Right? I said, oh, do we have to? And I was watching something, it was like, why don't you, or something like that on the telly.
Is this what started your tea bag and banana skin collection?
Right, so it was like, you know, in the summer holidays where you'd have dead good telly in the morning, you had like, the Monkeys.
Yeah,
it was Why Don't You, Banana Splits and all that, right? And I was like, loving that, I was watching that. My dad said, empty the bin. I said, oh, the Monkeys are on in a minute. He said, well, just empty the bin. So I emptied it, and I just put it near the door. He said, don't leave it there. He said, stick it near the bins in the garden. I was like, oh, I'll put it there later. He said, no, do it now.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, oh, if I miss the beginning of this, I'll be livid, right? So I picked it up quick, ran out down to the bottom of the garden, slung it in the corner, and sort of went to turn back to go back in, and had to look again, because they had like a little AA truck. They bought me, it wasn't brand new, but he'd got it from somewhere, a little AA go-kart. Do you know one of them, like, little things that, I mean, I was young.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was like,
go-kart?
what kind of, no, the plastic ones.
Yeah.
When you're about, I don't know, I must have been like 5 or 6 or something.
So I don't quite follow, had he sent you out there?
My dad sent me out with a bin bag so I could see, like, what he'd got me. And it wasn't my birthday or anything, he'd just got it from somewhere.
You sure you hadn't just nicked it and dumped it out the bag?
Possibly.
Sure.
But, that was like a genuine, like, oh, yeah, smart.
Yeah.